this is going to be a lot. We've essentially reached the climax of what has been a never-ending saga of rumors and drama surrounding the AEW Women's Division. So much so that the AEW World Champion MJF took to his Twitter account to speak out about the situation himself. The catalyst was actually someone who's not even a member of the AEW Women's roster, and that is Canadian indie wrestler Lufisto. She had a brief tryout with AEW and spoke about her time backstage in a recent interview. She described the environment as chaotic and says that talent would sit around and gossip about each other like children. She also said she had issues with payment and communication from AEW officials like QT Marshall. As far as creative, she says that politicking was big and talent would often try to get one over on each other. The power structure wasn't clearly defined to her, and men who aren't invested in women's wrestling seemed to be at the helm. Lufisto alleges that Tony Khan sent home any female talent who spoke up about these issues and brought up the division's poor ratings to add salt to the wound. Britt Baker and her supposed crew are named as being at the center of many backstage issues, though Lufisto never interacted with Baker during her time in AEW. Oddly enough, Lufisto name drops Jacques Rougeau and Ruby Soho. Lufisto accuses Rougeau of getting in QT Marshall's ear to poison the well against her. She then recalls seeing Ruby backstage at a WrestleMania, and their relationship has been sour ever since. Ruby took to Twitter to release a statement regarding all the allegations and praised the AEW women's locker room for supporting each other and women's wrestling. Dax Harwood and Bayley responded to the tweet to prop up Ruby, describing her as nice, sweet, honest, genuine, and pretty much the opposite of what Lufisto described. Other members of the AEW Women's Division put out their own tweets to describe their experience backstage. Madison Rayne describes the locker room as uplifting. Nyla Rose says she feels betrayed by the negative portrayal of the division throughout this situation. Saraya says her favorite part of being in AEW the past year has been the camaraderie she's built with the women on the roster. Taya Valkarie implores the public to stop pitting women against each other and expresses her annoyance at the prevailing narrative about the AEW women's locker room being toxic. We got a lot of tweets from a lot of roster members, but none bigger than the AEW World Champion himself, MJF. That's right, the Sauce with the Earth defended the AEW women's roster and took some pretty heavy shots at Lufisto. Well, he didn't name her, but he did say that fans shouldn't listen to miserable people who've been in the business over a decade and have yet to do anything of note. Instead of blaming everyone around them, he suggests realizing that lack of talent, being difficult to work with, and/or delusions are the real reason many careers in the business don't pan out. He closes his statement lambasting the idea that anyone speaking out against companies like AEW are doing so because they are brave. In reality, they just know they aren't ever going to make it in the business anyway, so they have nothing to lose by slandering more popular talent on their way down. Ouch. Oh, and he makes it clear that the women's locker room is doing amazing. MJF definitely left an impression with his statement and received a cosign from none other than Britt Baker. Honestly, the issues between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa have been at the center of everything AEW women's drama for what feels like forever at this point. Britt Baker seemingly gave a nudge to Rosa to release her own public statement, hoping to quell the numerous rumors surrounding them and the infamous meeting they had many months ago. At the time of this recording, Rosa has yet to release her own statement, but if and when she does, oh boy, it's going to do heavy damage to the narrative, whether that's positively or negatively. But Rosa and Britt putting on a united front to the public will go a long way to improving the reputation of the women's division in the eyes of the fans.